The Disappearance, pilot by Jess DiStefano. Cold open. Exterior street, afternoon. Idyllic suburban neighborhood. The type of place where it isn't uncommon to see the street blocked off for an impromptu game of hockey and everyone greets each other by their first name. Will Johnson, 11, a charmer in training, bikes down the street with two other boys.
We're still on for tonight, right?
Hells yeah.
Will?
Can't. What?
Come on, man. We've been planning this for weeks. My dad even said he's making us his chili nachos.
I can't. My dad scored us Sox tickets for tonight. Third row behind home plate.
Shit.
I know.
Man, your dad's the best.
A small but noticeable smile crawls across Will's face. It's clear he feels the same way about his dad. A beat.
Later.
Will splits from the center of the pack, hangs a right onto a cul-de-sac, and slams on his brakes. On cul-de-sac. A sea of cop cars spread out in front of the house at the bottom of the cul-de-sac. Lights flashing. Doors left open in haste. But there's not a single soul in sight. On Will. Will's frozen in his tracks. He can't take his eyes off the sight before him as his mind races a mile a minute.
Fuck.
This is Will's house. Cut to interior foyer, Johnson house, moments later. Will steps in through the open front door and instantly spots his younger sister, Casey Johnson, 8. Freckled-faced Muppet, cowering on the top of the staircase.
Case?
Close on Casey. Knees tucked under her chin, tears streaming down her face, and a golden necklace hanging from her mouth like a pacifier. Everything about Casey silently screams that things are far from okay.
Case? What's going on?
A beat. Casey ever so slightly tilts her head towards the living room. Will's eyes follow suit, just staring at the living room doorway with an ever-growing sense of trepidation and dread. Cut to interior living room, Johnson house, moments later. Will cautiously enters, surveying the scene before him as he does. A small group of cops are scattered about, some scoping out the contents of the room, while others are focused in on Denise Johnson, mid-30s. Life hasn't been kind to her, sits in the dead center of the couch in a catatonic-like state. And Jamie Johnson, 14, too mature for her own good, sits next to Denise, desperately attempting to get through to her.
Jamie, what's going...
Not now, Will. Mom, you need to answer their questions.
Ma'am, when was the last time you had contact with him?
But Denise doesn't answer. She continues to stare as if she's completely unaware of everything that's transpiring around her.
Mom, please.
Ma'am, we can't put in the report if we don't have all the information. Now, you mentioned that they weren't at daycare when you arrived. Does your husband ever pick them up?
Jamie looks at Denise, waiting for her to answer. Nothing.
No, my dad doesn't get off work until 6. My mom always picks up Izzy and Michael at 3:30 p.m. every day, and then drops them off at our neighbor's until I get home.
Well, maybe he decided
Check the house. Their stuff is gone. All of it. This isn't a stupid miscommunication. He took them. My father took my baby brother and sister.
On Will. Will stares at Jamie as the true meaning of her words fully sink in. Dissolve to interior master bedroom, Johnson house, later. Will wanders into his parents' bedroom in a semi-state of shock. He takes a look around and notices the room is in shambles. Drawers left open, clothes strewn about, empty hangers haphazardly hanging in the closet. All signs point to a rushed packing job. Will takes a moment and then turns his attention to across the room on nightstand. A beat-up Red Sox baseball hat sits on top of a pile of magazines. Will makes his way over to the nightstand and ever so carefully picks up the hat. He examines it, fingers tracing over every frayed edge and smug mark. A beat. Will puts the hat on his head and then takes a seat on the bed. His whole entire world has just been completely shattered. End of cold open. Act 1. Exterior parking lot, O'Malley's restaurant, night. Close on the same Red Sox hat. It's a bit more worn around the edges, clearly showing signs of over a decade's worth of wear and tear.
Think it's time to retire this thing already?
Pull back to reveal Will, now 24, has graduated to full-blown charmer, briskly walks side by side with Kate Larkin, 25. It's clear why he calls her princess, through a parking lot. Kate reaches up, takes the hat off of Will's head, and pops it into her purse.
What? No way, it's lucky.
And disgusting.
More like well-loved.
Well, I'd love it if you found a new hat. One that didn't smell like a locker room.
That's part of the luck.
Beep. Kate instinctually reaches for her phone and checks the screen.
Shoot. They're already seated, which means my dad is probably bugging my mom to order.
It's only 7:45 p.m.
We're late.
Blame it on traffic.
Well,
It was double overtime, Kate.
It was a basketball game.
But it was for work.
It's always for work.
How am I supposed to write about it if I don't watch it?
Will flashes a dimpled-clad smile, Kate's kryptonite.
You're lucky you're cute.
And thoughtful.
Thoughtful.
Will produces 2 tickets from his coat pocket.
Sox Yankees, Game 4. Your dad mentioned it last week. I called in a favor or two. I already have my press badge, so I figured he could take Chris.
Oh, you're so gonna become my dad's favorite.
Thought I already was. Don't you remember? He told me so after announcing we were moving back to Boston.
No, that just won you the title of his favorite son.
Ah, right. So what would happen if I got him World Series tickets?
He'd divorce my mom and marry you.
Good thing I'm marrying you then.
Kate tucks her arm under Will's elbow and gives him a light kiss on the cheek.
Yes, a very good thing. Come on, Mr. Thoughtful. We're gonna be even later than we already are.
Kate leads Will towards the restaurant entrance. Cut to interior table, O'Malley's restaurant, later. Will and Kate make their way through the semi-crowded restaurant towards Rich Larkin, 50s, and Sarah Larkin, 50s.
There they are. See? I knew they would be here before Ryan brought the skins out.
Rich and Sarah immediately get up from their seats and greet Will and Kate with hugs hello.
Hey, Mom. Dad already order again?
You know your father.
Just a round of skins, that's it. And maybe a beer.
Mr. Larkin?
Oh, for the love of God, it's Rich. You know that. And after you make it official with my Katie Bear, then it will be Dad. But for now, just call me Rich.
Sorry.
Don't get on the boy's case. He has impeccable manners. One can only pray that they rub off on our hooligans. Lord knows it's needed.
Especially after that incident at the Thompsons. That poor dog will never be the same again.
What happened to their dog?
Let's not scare Will, shall we? He hasn't even met everyone yet.
I'll tell you about the dog after you meet Becca. Trust me, it'll make way much more sense.
You kids are having dinner with Beck and Drew tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, they're driving down in the morning and then swinging by for dinner before heading to your place.
That sounds wonderful. So glad you'll be able to see them before the party.
I know I said it before, but thank you both again. You really didn't have to throw us a party.
Nonsense. Of course we did. What's an engagement without a celebration?
We celebrate everything in this family. Birthdays, weddings, graduations, speeding tickets.
It's kind of annoying.
I think it's great. Tons of family to celebrate with.
That's because you didn't grow up with it.
Your family didn't do celebrations?
We did, but it was really just my grandmother and me, so it wasn't ever anything crazy. And then when she passed...
A brief, awkward silence falls upon the table. There's no need to finish the sentence. They all already know what it means. Sarah reaches over and lovingly places her hand on top of Will's.
Well, we're going to change that starting this weekend. And don't listen to her. It's absolutely wonderful.
Will returns Sarah's smile, welcoming the motherly gesture. A beat.
1 order of skins with extra bacon.
Everyone's attention turns towards Ryan O'Malley, 16, Will's younger and lengthier doppelganger, as he approaches with a plate of potato skins. On Will. Will stares at Ryan while searching the dark recesses of his mind for why he looks so painfully familiar. He can't seem to look away.
Ah, perfect timing. Been craving these bad boys all week.
Ryan places the plates in the middle of the table, and Rich immediately helps himself.
My pleasure, Mr. L. Hey, stranger.
Hey, creeper. Can you get any taller?
I'm trying.
Ryan, honey, this is Will.
Richards, I love your work, man.
Ryan extends his hand and flashes a smile. Will's smile. Thrown off by this uncanny resemblance, Will hesitates, unable to find his words. Picking up on Will's odd behavior, Kate looks at Will and then Ryan, and then Kate notices it as well. The smile.
Talk about a dimpled doppelganger. I swear it's like someone up and cloned your smile, Will.
Will tries to laugh it off, but clearly this comment has a deep meaning, something that he can't seem to shake.
Yeah.
Dissolve to interior bar, O'Malley's restaurant, later. Will waits for Kate halfway in between the bathroom and the bar, arms full of their belongings. He shifts awkwardly, still a bit thrown off by the encounter with Ryan. Not really sure what to do, Will starts to wander around, looking at vast collections of framed photos, news articles, and sports memorabilia that cover almost every inch of wall space. On wall, centered in the middle of the memorabilia, is a large framed photo of a man in a Red Sox hat. It's almost an exact clone of Will's hat, down to the frayed edges. On Will. Will stares at the photo in complete and utter disbelief. He slowly reaches out to touch it as if he can't believe what he is seeing. Just as Will's fingers are about to graze the face of the man in the photo,
There you are.
Will snaps out of his trance-like state and notices that Kate has emerged from the bathroom.
Yeah, just looking around. Pretty impressive.
Of course you would like it. It's practically a shrine to every Boston-related sports team there is.
Who's the man in the photo? The owner?
Yep, that's the infamous Mike O'Malley. He's Ryan's dad.
This last line hits Will like a ton of bricks. He stares at the photo once again, letting this information sink in. Will knows this man. Dissolve to interior living room, Kate and Will's apartment, night. Will and Kate enter their apartment and start going about unwinding from their long drive. Will kicks off his shoes and plops himself down on the couch.
That took forever. I've never seen the pipe backed up like that before.
Yeah.
Kate takes note of Will's distracted state and sidles up next to him, planting a loving kiss on his cheek in the process.
You were awfully quiet on the way home. Everything okay?
I've just been trying to wrap my head around my next piece.
Blackhawks took the ice, scored a few goals, and won the game. Oh, and got into a few brawls in between. There, done and done.
There's a bit more to it than that.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Will returns a kiss to Kate, attempting to get out of his head. A beat.
So, the O'Malleys just offered to host our party for free. That's really generous of them.
They're practically extended family. Plus, Mike and Nicole are pretty much the two nicest people on the face of the earth.
Nicole?
Mike's wife.
It's just the three of them?
Oh, God, no. The O'Malleys are big-time breeders. They've got like 4 kids. Ryan and his older sister Morgan, though, are from Mike's first marriage.
This grabs Will's attention.
First marriage?
Yeah, don't know too much about it other than their mom isn't in the picture at all. Left when they were pretty little. You know, it never dawned on me, but you and Ryan do look insanely alike. You sure you don't have any long-lost relatives?
Will knows that Kate's last comment was meant as a joke, but he can't help but tense up slightly at it.
Nope, a long line of only children.
Must be those darn Irish genes, then.
Probably.
I'm going to head to bed. Don't stay up too late, okay?
Okay.
Kate plants another kiss on Will before heading into the bedroom. Will snatches up the remote from the nearby coffee table, turns on the TV, and flips to a basketball game. He tries to watch it, but it's of little use. His mind is on overdrive. Will glances over to the line of hooks by the front door, eyes locking in on his Red Sox hat. A beat. Will shuts off the TV, gets up off the couch, snatches the hat off of the hook, and heads up the door. Cut to interior hallway, assisted living center, night. Will makes his way down the long, clinical-looking corridor. Someone has made the attempt to liven up the walls with random Halloween decorations, but it still doesn't mask the fact that this isn't a place one lives in purely by choice. Fred, 40s, born to wear hospital scrubs, is camped out behind the nurse's station engrossed in a crossword puzzle.
Finishing yet?
Fred lights up at the sight of Will. It's clear that he's a frequent visitor.
My main man, Will, how's it going?
Can't complain. What's the theme tonight?
80s TV shows. Do you know a 4-letter word for small wonder?
Vicky.
That's 5.
Nope, it's spelled V-I-C-I. Her name was an anagram.
Saving the day once again.
I try. How's she doing today?
Not too bad. She hung out in the common room for over an hour.
Sounds better than last week.
Definitely, man. Your sister swung by again this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah, she asked if anyone's been here.
Of course she did.
Don't worry, man. It's all good. I told her the same thing as I always do. No one but her.
Will breathes a tiny sigh of relief at this.
Thanks. Catch you in a few?
You know where to find me.
Fred goes back to his crossword puzzle, and Will continues on his way down the hallway towards the rooms. Cut to interior living room, Denise's apartment, moments later. Everything from the furniture down to the random knickknacks are outdated, frozen in time as if the last decade hasn't happened at all. Will enters the apartment, making sure not to disrupt anything. He's familiar with this place, a little too familiar. Will's eyes fall upon Denise Johnson, now late 40s, sitting in a lazy boy chair in the center of the room. Denise mindlessly stares at a TV, not the least bit aware of Will's presence. Will approaches Denise and plants a gentle kiss on the top of her head.
Hi, Mom.
Denise doesn't react. She simply continues to stare at the TV as if Will doesn't exist.
Sorry I'm late. We had to drive out to Kate's hometown tonight for a dinner with her parents. It's a bit of a hike, and we had some traffic on the way home. You would like them. Her parents. Super warm and friendly. They go overboard with the hugs, but it's kind of nice.
Will fidgets with the brim of his baseball cap, adjusting and readjusting it. Holding down a one-sided conversation isn't his strong suit.
They insisted on throwing us an engagement party. I wasn't too crazy about the idea at first, but it's not like I could say no. It's at this restaurant, O'Malley's. They're family friends of Kate's. We had dinner there tonight. Not too bad, actually. It's gonna sound crazy, Mom, but I met this kid tonight. Ryan O'Malley. He had these blue eyes and dimples, just like...
Michael.
Will snaps out of his train of thought. He stares at Denise for a moment in disbelief, trying to figure out how exactly she read his mind. But then, Will notices the TV. On TV. It's an old home video of Christmas morning. Will, 10, scrambles under the tree, fishing out the largest present he can find, and yanks it backwards in an attempt to free it. Bam! Will's elbow collides directly with Michael's. 1, forehead. Michael's eyes instantly well up with tears and begins to cry uncontrollably. Will drops the present and jumps into Big Brother mode. He scoops up Michael into a hug, giving him a kiss where his elbow landed.
Sorry, Mikey.
That's gonna leave one hell of a mark.
Bill Johnson, early 30s, where Will gets his looks from, appears next to Will and squats down to check out Michael's head. On Will. Will sits there in silence, unable to pull his eyes away. There's no denying it. Bill Johnson is the same exact man from the photo. End of Act 1. Act 2. Interior bedroom, Kate and Will's apartment, morning. Will nudges the bedroom door open with his foot while balancing a breakfast tray in his hands. Bagels, coffee, scrambled eggs with hash browns. He's pulled out all of the stops. Kate stirs awake, overcome by the amazing smell. A sleepy smile crawls across her face.
Okay, what's wrong?
Will places the tray down on Kate's lap and takes a seat next to her.
What?
Don't what me? This is your I'm sorry but breakfast.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Can I treat my fiance?
Kate raises an eyebrow. She's not buying it.
Okay. Jamie called. There's a last-minute interview that he needs me to cover today.
Will,
I know, but he can't find anyone else to do it, and it's needed for a piece that's running tomorrow.
how long?
A few hours, tops.
Back in time to meet my sister?
Yes, of course. Did I mention the coffees from that place you like, the one on Bond Street?
Kate lights up a bit at this revelation and immediately reaches for the cup of coffee.
And it's an everything bagel with extra cream cheese from Murphy's.
You owe me.
Will plants a kiss on Kate's cheek and gets up from the bed.
Thanks, baby.
Kate gives Will a nod in confirmation and continues to dig into the breakfast. Dissolve to interior lobby, police station, later. Will navigates the crowded entranceway, zigzagging through the sea of people. He's clearly out of his element and knows it. Will approaches desk officer, 30, sitting behind the front desk and flashes a friendly smile.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I was wondering where I could find Officer Johnson.
You mean Detective Johnson?
Detective?
Detective Johnson.
I guess then Detective Johnson, yeah.
Hang left, the second door on your right.
Will hesitates for a moment, almost expecting the desk officer to say something more, but nothing. Will heads on down the hallway. Cut to interior office, police station, moments later. Close on Jamie, now 27, the textbook definition of tough as nails, sits behind one of the desks, half buried in paperwork.
So, you're a detective now.
Jamie instantly stops reading, puts down her folder, and looks up at Will.
And you're back in Boston.
Will makes his way into the office, but makes no attempt to greet Jamie hello. They aren't the hugging type.
Yeah, we moved back a few months ago. I was...
Offered a job at the Boston Globe.
Will raises an eyebrow, slightly thrown off guard.
I didn't make detective for nothing. Your column's good.
Thought you hate sports.
Still do, but doesn't mean I can't appreciate good writing when I see it.
An awkward silence falls between the two of them, neither knowing exactly what to say or do next.
Why are you here, Will?
Can't I just swing by to say hi?
Jamie doesn't respond. She doesn't need to. It's a lie, and they both know it. Will starts to open his mouth, but is cut off by...
Babe, where's your bag? I think I shoved my case file in it by mistake this morning, and I'm so freaking late for...
Erin Blackwell, 28, runs on nothing but caffeine and tenacity, rounds the corner, and instantly stops dead in her tracks. Clearly she wasn't expecting Jamie to have company.
Erin, this is Will. He's...
Come on, really? I know who he is.
Will holds his breath for a second, waiting for what's to come. Then,
There isn't a socks-loving Bostonian that doesn't know who he is. You're Will Richards.
Will breathes a light sigh of relief.
You read my work?
Never miss it. Your coverage last week of Game 2 was so on point, especially about sales. He's such...
Erin,
What?
don't you have court in 20?
Oh, shit. Yes, sorry.
Jamie reaches into her bag and produces a manila folder. Erin snatches it up from Jamie and gives her a light kiss on the cheek.
Thanks, babe. Sorry, gotta run, but great meeting you.
With that, Erin races back out of the office. A beat.
She doesn't know.
Thanks.
So what can I help you with?
I was just wondering if you had Case's address, that's all.
Jamie hesitates for a moment, then scribbles down something on a piece of paper and hands it over to Will.
Here. Not sure if she's still there or not. She's a hard one to keep tabs on.
I know. Thanks.
An awkward silence falls back between the two of them. Will opens his mouth to say something else, but stops himself. He simply gives a nod to Jamie and heads back out of the office. Dissolved to interior hallway, Casey's apartment, later. Will makes his way down a dilapidated hallway towards the last door on the left. He double checks the piece of paper for confirmation before knocking. A beat. No response. Will knocks again, this time a bit harder. Still nothing. Will lets out a frustrated sigh. He does a quick check of the hallway and then starts to look around the door. Cut to interior Casey's apartment, moments later. An absolute and utter mess. Everything feels temporary. It's a crash pad at best. In the center of it all lays Casey Johnson, now 21, a train wreck in pleather pants, out cold to the world. Will pops open the apartment door and surveys the scene. For some odd reason, it's not the least bit shocking to him.
Hello?
Casey doesn't even stir. A beat. Will grabs a nearby pillow and chucks it at Casey. Bingo. The pillow hit Casey, and she immediately startles awake.
What the fuck? You know there's this thing called knocking, ever try it?
I did.
So you broke in.
Will reveals a set of keys.
You need a better hiding spot.
Casey takes a moment to sit up and collect herself. She's not used to visitors, especially not at this hour of the morning.
What do I owe this pleasure?
I need your help.
Me?
Yeah,
Well, that's a new one.
I'm serious.
Okay then, William. What can I help you with?
Will doesn't respond right away. He adjusts and readjusts his hat while casually looking around the apartment. Then,
What if I told you that I think I found
Who?
them?
I tell you you're fucking nuts.
I was out to dinner last night with Kate and her folks, and there was this kid. I swear he could pass as my double. Blue eyes, same dimpled face. It was like looking into a freaking mirror. And he has an older sister. And then there was this photo that looked exactly like
And I care because...
Case.
Why aren't you telling Jamie this? She's the one that gives a shit.
Because we both know she would go in guns blazing before I even finished telling her what I saw. Besides, I'm not 100% sure it's really them.
What do you want?
I need you to come with me.
Where?
To see it for yourself, to confirm that I'm not crazy.
You gotta be shitting me.
You're the only one.
No.
Case, come on.
No, Will.
I'll pay.
What?
1 month's rent, I'll pay it.
Casey takes a moment to consider it. It's more than tempting.
3.
3?
Yeah, 3 months.
Will lets out a frustrated sigh.
Fine.
Dissolved to interior car later. Will drives while Casey lounges in the passenger seat.
How's the princess?
She's not a princess.
Your name's Will, your girlfriend's named Kate, and you have a freaking life right out of a fairy tale. All you're missing is a castle and a cute regret or two.
Fiance.
Fiance?
Yeah, we got engaged 2 months ago.
Well, that's news.
Okay, so what if...
What of what? Had me over for dinner to celebrate? Remember, I don't exist in your little fairy tale, William. None of us do.
We've been over this, I did.
Yeah, you did what you needed to do. Check.
An awkward silence falls between the two of them, neither one willing to address the elephant in the car. Cut to interior entrance O'Malley restaurant, afternoon. Will and Casey make their way in and take a quick glance around. Besides a few patrons partaking in a midday liquid lunch, it's empty.
Remind me why we're here again?
Because you need to see it for yourself?
So we're just gonna camp out here in the off chance that one of them magically appears.
Yes.
Genius plan.
At least take a look at the photo.
And then what?
Case,
I should start calling you Jamie.
I'm not that bad.
Could have fooled me.
Hi there. Welcome to O'Malley's. Can I help you?
Both Will and Casey turn their attention towards the bar and immediately spot Morgan O'Malley, 17, making her way over to them. Same charismatic smile, same striking blue eyes. There's no denying it. Morgan is definitely a Johnson. And by the shared look of shock on Will and Casey's faces, they know it.
Holy shit.
A beat.
Is everything...
Yeah, sorry.
Will slaps Casey in the arm, but no response. Casey can't take her eyes off of Morgan.
You guys want a table or just drinks?
A table would be great, thanks.
Follow me.
Morgan scoops up 2 menus and heads towards the dining area. Cut to interior table, O'Malley restaurant. Moments later. Casey and Will sit across from each other, pretending to focus in on their menus.
I know.
No, you're not.
How the hell do you expect me to do that, huh?
Can I get you guys something to drink?
Both Casey and Will instantly freeze at the sound of Morgan's voice. Morgan sidles up to the table and flashes a friendly smile.
Yeah, do you have any IPAs?
Yeah, we've got a few actually. There's the Back Bay, which is always a favorite, and then there's your standard Harpoon. But if you want something super addictive, you've gotta try this one called Flower Child. My dad would skin me alive if he heard me saying this, but it's damn good.
I'll take one of those.
Great choice. And for you?
But Casey can't seem to find her voice. All she can do is stare.
She'll take one as well.
Okay, cool. I'll be right back with those.
Morgan starts to walk away, but then suddenly stops and backtracks.
You're Will Richards, right? Kate's fiance?
Will does a slight double take. He wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Thought so. Heard you were here last night with Kate. I'm Morgan. Morgan O'Malley. We met like 2 years ago at the Larkins annual barbecue.
The one with the pig.
Yeah, that was all my dad's doing. Rich bet him that he couldn't figure out how to barbecue a whole hog, and well, my dad, he never backs down from a challenge, thank God, and that was a one-time thing. We were eating barbecue pork for like weeks. Congrats on your engagement, by the way. It's one hell of a ring.
Morgan trails off, catching herself rambling. She immediately grows a bit self-conscious. A beat.
Anyways, good seeing you again, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. Can't promise another hog, but I'm sure my dad will have something else just as crazy cooked up. He's a sucker for parties.
With that, Morgan turns to take off back towards the kitchen, and as she does, the side of her neck comes into view. Morgan has a noticeable birthmark just below her left ear, on Casey and Will. They both spot the birthmark, and the same look of recognition sweeps across their faces. They know that mark. Dissolve to interior car later. Will and Casey get back into the car, shut their doors, and just sit there in stunned silence. Then,
Fuck.
I know.
She has a birthmark right below her left ear.
I know.
Shit. That's Izzy's birthmark, Will.
I know.
That's Izzy. We were talking to fucking Izzy in there. How the hell did you meet her 2 years ago and you didn't realize it?
Will simply shakes his head. He's too lost in playing back his own memories to answer.
Will, what if you met...
I would have remembered that.
You sure?
Yes.
A beat.
What the fuck do we do now?
Will doesn't respond. He doesn't know how to. End of Act 2. Act 3. Interior, the dugout, later. Hole-in-the-wall type of bar that hasn't changed its taps or decor in the last 3 decades. Will and Casey sit side by side at the bar, both nursing a beer.
How the hell have they been living like only 2 hours away all this time?
Don't think they have. Kate mentioned they moved there during her senior year.
But still, that's like, what?
6 years.
6 fucking years. Jamie's head is gonna like fucking explode.
We can't tell her.
What? Come on.
We can't tell anyone. Not yet. Not until we're 100% sure.
Sure, well, she's got the birthmark. How much more proof do we need?
I don't know.
Phone buzzes. Will looks down at his phone and then shoves it back in his pocket.
Shit.
Princess?
I'm supposed to be having dinner with her sister Becca and her husband tonight. Kate wanted me to meet them before the...
Party tomorrow night? Yeah, caught that one.
A beat. The elephant creeps back in between the two of them. Will takes a long swig of his beer, trying to think. Then,
We need something more concrete.
Like what? Fingerprints? DNA samples?
Photos. We need photos.
Casey glances over at Will, and it suddenly dawns on her what she has in mind.
Oh no, not happening.
Case.
Fuck no.
Dissolve to interior hallway, assisted living center, later. Will practically drags Casey down the hallway towards the nurse's station.
Such a bad idea.
Case, come on. We'll only stay for 5 minutes, 10 tops.
Doesn't matter, they'll never let me in.
What are you talking?
My main man.
Fred gets up from behind the nurse's station and flashes a friendly look at Will.
Hey, Fred.
Well, what are you doing here, man? It's not even close to 7.
Casey makes a mental note of this comment, but says nothing.
Need a favor. Think you can keep my mom in the common room for the next hour?
I don't know. The residents aren't supposed to be in the common room past 4 p.m., and it's already 3:30.
Will reaches into his pocket and produces 2 Red Sox tickets. He hands them over to Fred.
Holy shit. Second row behind the dugout.
Think you can bend the rules just this once?
Sure. Anything. I'll keep her out and about for as long as you want.
Thanks. And Fred,
I never saw you or your friend.
you're the best.
Will starts to walk away from the nurse's station with Casey. They get a few steps, and then...
God, some things never change.
What?
The tickets.
Those is a thank you.
Once a pleaser, always a pleaser.
Cut to interior living room, Denise's apartment, later. Casey ransacks the place while Will flips through stacks of old albums and photos.
Jesus, how many of these things are there?
A lot. I helped Jamie move her in right before college. I must have unpacked at least 4 boxes of just photos and old VHS tapes.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was I?
Second stint at Higher Grounds.
Right.
Casey wanders around the place a bit, taking a mental inventory of everything. It's clear she isn't too familiar with it. On bookshelf, a golden necklace sits amongst a handful of knickknacks. On Casey, she looks at the necklace for a moment or two, and then back at Will, who's distracted by the mountain of photos. A beat. Casey snatches the necklace and pockets it.
Think she has any booze stashed away in here?
Seriously?
Seriously.
Mom doesn't even know what decade it is.
You've been visiting her.
Yeah, just a few times since I've been back.
How's she been?
Like always.
Casey nods. She takes a seat next to Will on the couch and starts to flip through an album.
God, I forgot about your big-ass ears. Those things were huge.
They weren't that bad.
You look like freaking Dumbo.
You weren't any better. Look at this one.
What about it?
Troll doll?
I was cute.
A cute troll doll.
Ass.
Fuck up.
Casey and Will exchange a playful smile. This feels nice, and they both know it. A beat.
What the hell?
The smiles instantly drop off of Will and Casey's faces. Busted. Cut to interior hallway, assisted living center, moments later. Jamie roughly manhandles both Casey and Will out of Denise's room and into the hallway and secures the door. Casey rips her arm away from Jamie's grasp.
Jesus, Jamie, what the fuck?
What the hell are you doing back here?
Nothing.
Bullshit.
Jamie.
Stay out of this, Will. What'd you take?
I didn't take a damn thing.
Stop lying.
Fuck you.
Will instinctually steps in between Casey and Jamie, trying to put some distance between the two of them. He knows where this is heading, and it isn't good.
Guys, why don't we...
I didn't fucking take anything.
So then why the hell are you here, huh, Casey? Just visiting Mom?
Tell her.
Tell me what?
Will hesitates, his eyes dart between Casey and Jamie, trying to figure out exactly what to say. Then,
Cut her a break, Jamie. She's telling you she didn't take anything. I was with her the entire time in there. She wouldn't steal from Mom.
Jamie can't help but laugh in disbelief at Will's last words. In one swift, practiced motion, Jamie reaches into Casey's pant pocket and pulls out the golden necklace.
Won't steal from Mom.
Will looks at Casey, searching her face for some explanation, but there's nothing. A beat.
Fuck this.
Casey doesn't wait for Will or Jamie to respond. She takes off down the hallway. Cut to exterior street, moments later. Will races out of the building and spots Casey already halfway down the block.
Case, wait, stop.
Fuck off.
Come on, don't do this.
No, Will.
I need you.
No, you don't. What you need is to forget this ever happened. All of it. Just go home to your princess and perfect fucking life.
I can't just...
Yes, you can. You've done it before.
I...
You met them before. You met them and didn't remember, so just fucking do it again. Go to your party and play the part. You're good at that.
But it's them, Case.
So?
So?
Yeah, Will, so fucking what? So it's them. And they've been living all this time only 2 fucking hours away in a perfect little town with friends and 2 parents and what looks to be a pretty damn good life. Just let it go, Will. They don't deserve to have that wrecked. No one does.
Case.
But Casey is more than done. She continues to walk off down the street, leaving Will left standing there. A beat. Phone buzz. Will pulls out his phone from his pocket. On phone. Kate, where are you? On Will. A sickening realization washes over Will. He's beyond late for dinner. Dissolved to interior hostess stand, restaurant, later. Will races into the restaurant and makes a beeline towards the hostess. He's a hot, disheveled mess, but could care less.
Larkin?
Excuse me?
It's a reservation for 4 under the last name Larkin.
At 6?
Yes, are they here?
Sorry, but someone called and canceled that reservation 30 minutes ago.
The last bit of hope drains from Will's face.
Fuck.
Dissolved to interior living room, Kate and Will's apartment, night. Will unlocks the front door and cautiously enters. He already knows he's in the doghouse. Kate sits in the dead center of the couch, just waiting. She's been waiting for a while. A beat.
Where were you?
Baby, I can...
Where were you, William?
I fucked up.
I'm asking you a question.
I was heads down helping Jamie and lost track of time.
I texted and called multiple times.
I know.
Who doesn't pick up their fucking phone?
You know how I get when I'm in the zone. I just...
Enough.
A beat. Will shallows hard. He knows he has fucked up badly.
Tonight was supposed to be special. I know you don't get it, but I never get to see my sister, not since she left for college. In fact, I can't even remember the last time we did something that was just us. And I wanted you to meet her, without my folks or friends, because she matters to me, like you do.
Kate.
With that, Kate up and heads into the bedroom and shuts the door behind her. She's done. A beat. Will lets out a long sigh and collapses onto the couch. He doesn't know where to start. End of Act 3. Act 4. Exterior bleachers, Fenway Park, early morning. Will sits all by himself in the third row behind home plate. It's early. Too early for anyone to be in the park except for the security guards. Will stares out onto the empty field while his fingers mindlessly run over the frayed edges of his hat. They trace every last detail, again and again and again. A beat. Will reaches into his pants pocket, pulls out his phone, and starts to text. Cut to interior booth, Jackson Hole Diner, later. Will spots Jamie sitting by herself in a corner booth, nursing a coffee. He slides himself into the empty side across from her and shrugs off his coat.
Thanks for meeting me.
Of course. Surprised you still had my number.
Surprised you never changed it.
Safety precaution.
They sit in an awkward silence for a moment or two. Then,
I need the necklace.
Will,
I'm serious. You and I both know what it means to her.
like your hat?
Jamie.
Jamie reaches into her pocket and produces the golden necklace.
I was planning on giving it back. I was just...
Trying to make a point?
Jamie doesn't respond. She doesn't need to. Will is right.
I meant what I said yesterday. Case was only there because I asked her to help me with something.
I know.
Will raises an eyebrow, slightly curious.
You're not the only one who's buddies with Frank.
How long?
Roughly a month. You're the only one who ever gets Mom jelly rings.
Some things never change.
Nope. So you ready to tell me what this is all about?
This?
This. Swinging by my office, tracking down Casey, searching Mom's apartment.
Will hesitates for a moment, trying to find the right words.
It's nothing. Just something stupid, that's all.
All right.
All right? Really? That's all you're gonna say?
If you want to tell me, then you'll tell me.
Will sits with those words for a moment or two, then,
Can I ask you a hypothetical question?
Sure.
What would you do if, say, one day you just up and randomly bumped into Izzy, or Michael, or even Dad, like at a bar or at a park one day? Just happened to spot them. Would you do anything?
Hypothetically,
Strictly hypothetical.
Jamie gives Will a look, briefly acknowledging that she knows it isn't the case, and then falls back into her stoic demeanor.
I honestly don't know. I'd like to think I'd do the right thing and call it in, but I can't be 100% sure. That call would essentially open Pandora's box again. Except this time, well, let's just say there's a lot more on the line, you know?
Will nods. He without a doubt knows. A beat.
I should be getting back. Aaron and I are supposed to be meeting some friends for brunch in an hour.
Yeah, I should too.
Jamie pulls out her wallet and puts some bills on the table.
Jamie, no, let me.
Consider it a belated congratulations of sorts.
Thanks.
Good seeing you, Will.
Jamie gives Will a half smile, and with that, gets up and leaves. Cut to interior hallway, Casey's apartment, later. Will heads down the hallway, straight towards Casey's door. He pauses for a brief moment, almost trying to find the courage, and then,
Case?
no response. Will reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out an envelope. Inside is a small wad of cash and the golden necklace. On Will. He seals the envelope and then carefully slides it under the door. Cut to interior living room, Kate and Will's apartment, morning. Will walks in to find Kate already up and halfway through her morning cup of coffee. Kate takes a long, hard look at Will and then, without any words, gets up, pours another mug of coffee, and places it on the opposite side of the table. Will joins Kate at the table.
Thanks.
Becca texted. Said you called her?
Yeah, I wanted to apologize, but she didn't pick up.
Trust me, that's a good thing. She's definitely not a morning person.
A beat. A silence creeps in between the two of them as Will looks for the right words. Finally,
I'm really sorry for yesterday. You're right. I don't understand. Not fully, but that's not an excuse.
Will, it's okay, honestly. There will be many, many more dinners.
I know, but
I just need you to promise me that you'll talk to me. That's all. No sudden radio silence. It felt like you had just up and dropped off the face of the earth yesterday.
these words strike a deep chord with Will.
I promise.
Good. Now, I need to get my ass into gear and get in the shower. My mom accidentally let it slip that they invited the whole town tonight.
So that's a no on sweatpants then?
Yes, that's a big no.
Kate reaches over and snatches Will's Red Sox hat off of his head and tosses it on the table.
And no germ-infested hats.
Check.
Kate gives Will a peck on the cheek and then heads into the bedroom. A beat. Will picks up the Red Sox hat and looks it over for a moment or two, almost contemplating something. Then, without a second thought, he tosses the hat into the nearby trash can. Dissolved to interior bar O'Malley's later. Kate and Will hide out at the bar, both attempting to down their drinks.
You hanging in there?
Think so. Who was that last guy again, Mark?
My dad's bowling buddy. Nice guy, but a bit of a weirdo. Don't get him started on his boat. He could talk for hours about it, in an unhealthy sort of way.
Got it. No boats.
A beat.
There they are.
Here we go again.
Sarah emerges from the crowd with Nicole O'Malley, mid-30s, born to be a mom, trailing close behind.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mrs. Larkin.
What are you two doing over here?
Just needed a refill.
Bobby taking care of you? I told him to make sure you were never empty-handed.
Yes, he's been great, thanks.
Of course. And you must be the infamous fiance. I've heard you walk on water.
Will lets a slightly nervous laugh slip. He knows who she is.
I don't know about that.
Will, this is Nicole O'Malley. Her and her husband Mike are the ones who own this place.
Nice to meet you, and thank you so much for all this.
Our pleasure. Secretly, I think my husband offered to host just so he could meet you.
Me?
Yeah. He has quite the man crush on you. You're pretty much living out his fantasy.
Will grows more uncomfortable by the second. This conversation is just a bit too much for him to process.
It really isn't all that it's cracked up to be.
Of course, I can imagine as much. But you know how it goes. The grass is always greener. You know, Mike actually tried his hand at sports writing as well.
Really?
Yeah, years and years ago. Way before we met. Clearly, he didn't have too much luck at it.
And thank God he didn't, because Rich would surely be at a loss without his beloved potato skins. Speaking of which, where is he? I haven't seen him all night.
Oh, you know him. He's probably back in the kitchen somewhere, rechecking the wings for the 1000th time. Hang on, let me go grab him. He'd love to finally meet you.
Without waiting for a response, Nicole dives back into the crowd and makes a beeline towards the kitchen. A beat. Will turns towards Kate, clearly seconds away from a full-blown panic attack.
Will,
I'll be right back.
you alright?
Yeah, I just forgot something in our car.
Okay.
Will doesn't wait another moment. He bolts towards the exit. Cut to exterior back alley, O'Malley's, moments later. Will ducks out into the back alley and takes a long, hard breath of air. He's trying his best to fight off a panic attack.
Will?
Will looks up to find Morgan a few feet away, camped out on an overturned box, phone in hand. She appears to have just gotten off a phone call. Will immediately pulls himself together.
Hey,
Morgan makes her way towards Will. She leans on the wall next to him, and for a moment they stand there side by side in silence. Then,
want to hear something funny?
Sure.
You know I'm not that big of a sports fan.
Morgan shoots Will a quizzical look, completely and utterly lost by this comment.
Don't get me wrong, I do like them and all, just not the eat, sleep, breathe fanatic that everyone thinks I am.
Then why do you do it?
Dunno, I guess in some ways I thought it would make me feel closer to someone.
And does it?
Not really.
Well then, you're either going to have to fake it some more, or find yourself a new job.
Will lets a light chuckle slip out at this.
Lucky for me, I'm pretty good at that. I can't believe I just told you that.
Don't sweat it. It happens a lot. People sort of trust me with all kinds of things. Plus, I'm a pro at keeping secrets.
A beat. The back door pops open, and Ryan sticks his head out.
Yo, Izzy, Dad's been looking for you. You were supposed to handle the afterwards like 15 minutes ago.
Oh, shit. Tell him I'll be right there.
Ryan nods and ducks back inside.
Guess that's my cue to...
What did he call you?
Huh?
Ryan. What did he just call you?
Is he? It's just a nickname. My dad says it's because Ryan was obsessed with some show that had a character named Izzy. Who knows, really? It just kind of stuck. Only my dad and Ryan call me it. Anywho, see you inside.
With that, Morgan slips back through the door, leaving Will by himself. On Will. He stands there for a moment in utter shock, mind racing as the realization sinks in. If Will wasn't 100% sure before, he is so now. Morgan is Izzy. A beat. A slightly panicked determination washes over Will. He makes a mad dash towards the door and heads inside. Cut to interior O'Malley's continuous. Will zigzags through the dense crowd, trying to catch up to Morgan.
Hey Morgan, wait!
Will attempts to move faster, but his path is suddenly cut off by Kate.
Where'd you go? I've been looking all over for you. Mike wants to meet you.
Will looks Kate square in the eyes. He suddenly knows exactly what he needs to do, and he needs to do it now.
I need to tell you something.
Okay, of course. But we really should...
My last name isn't Richards.
What?
It's Johnson.
What are you talking about?
I changed it when I went to college. My real name is William Johnson.
Will, you aren't making any sense.
I know, but I'm telling you this because...
But Will's suddenly cut off by the sound of a commotion coming from the front of the restaurant. On crowd. The crowd naturally parts to either side, making way for 2 police officers. Nicole emerges from the crowd, slightly confused by the sudden presence of the police officers.
Can I help you?
Evening, ma'am. We're looking for the owner of this establishment. Do you happen to know where he's at?
Yes, of course. He's my husband. Mike?
A beat. Mike O'Malley, early 40s, aging but still has his boyish charm, comes out of the kitchen and instantly stops dead in his tracks at the sight of the police officers.
What's going on?
Are you Michael O'Malley?
Yeah. Is everything okay?
Police officer number 1 doesn't respond. He simply gives police officer number 2 a confirming nod, and suddenly police officer number 2 whips out handcuffs and cuffs Mike.
Stop! Wait, what are you doing?
Michael O'Malley, a.k.a. William Johnson Sr. You are under arrest for the kidnapping of Elizabeth and Michael Johnson.
On Will. Will watches the scene unfold in pure disbelief. Never in his wildest dreams did he ever imagine that this would take place, especially not in front of him. Kate grabs hold of Will, desperately trying to piece together what's going on.
Will, what the hell's happening?
That's my dad.
Will catches Mike's eyes as police officer number 2 prepares to walk Mike out of the restaurant. They exchange a brief look of recognition with each other that says it all. Pandora's box has just been opened. Fade to black. End of pilot.